behind the scenes with future country rock blues kings and queens. Discover them first with Palm Mash TV. Palm Mash TV.
Well, hello there. It's Palm Mash TV time again. Thank you so much for joining us. Another great interview is coming up in just a moment. But before we begin, don't forget about that subscribe and bell button below you there. And just click those and you'll always be notified of any new episodes coming your way. And leave a comment on the comment section. We'd love to hear from you there. And be sure to check the description as well as the closing credits at the end of the show, because we'll have contact info for you. So I hope you'll stay tuned for that. From Bay City, Michigan, we have Johnny Guest on our show. He's another great artist, and I think you're going to agree. And we'll get to that in a second, but first there's a quick word from the Caden Gordon Show. So don't go away. We'll be right back right after this.
It is Caden from the Caden Gordon Show. Today's best country mix. Check out my show at thecadengordonshow.com.
Okay, we're back, and with us from Bay City, Michigan today, we have Johnny Guest. Thanks for joining us, Johnny.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. Well, how did it begin for you? Everybody has their own story about how they got started in music. I'm sure you got an interesting story.
Oh man, well, it's funny. My parents had music going in the house all the time, but my oldest sibling had a guitar. I was always playing like Beach Boys songs and these old country songs and stuff, and so there's a lot of time for me to think that was pretty cool. So by the time I was 6, though, is when I was struck with this idea. I was fascinated with jet skis and pretty much anything with a motor, but I was watching at the time jet ski racing, and I thought, oh man, that looks so fun. And I grabbed a notebook and started writing lyrics down. And the guitar I had to work with was it's like a toy guitar. I had one good string on it. And so I just kind of thumped out a bass line on this one remaining string and kind of made up the chord pattern and the melody and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, 6 years old, and it's had a grip on me since. So there's still a lot more songs left to write. Seems like.
Okay. Well, that's quite a story. I'm sure you'll have many years ahead of you in the music business. So I hope you're good. So. I noticed you mentioned the Beach Boys. Would you say they're an influence, or did you have any other influences that come to mind?
You know, the Beach Boys are interesting because they were influenced by Chuck Berry. I mean, Chuck Berry wrote one of their biggest hits, right? And so the rhythms that were there and the music I love, like Chuck Berry and some of the 50s and 60s rock and roll stuff, that all had me enamored for the longest time. But melodically, the Beach Boys really pushed things, and I was pretty fascinated with that. So of course the Beatles, I went through my Beatles phase, and it still rears its ugly head here and there when I make some complex chord choices that lead to melodic meanderings here and there. But yeah, it's interesting how all of our influences come together and come, I don't know, call it a stew, I guess. You know, you ever make one of those stews where you take every ingredient in the freezer and it's like, I don't know how this is gonna go, let's find out, and just start going at it. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, that's true. And you mentioned the Beatles, and I don't think there's anybody who doesn't like the Beatles. I think everybody much likes them, So I definitely think they're a great band as well.
Mm-hmm.
Can we find all your music on streaming, and also can we find you on social media, and also have an official website? If you do, tell everybody where we can go.
Sure. Yeah, all the streaming platforms. I have music under my own name, Johnny Guest. Then I have a full-length record under Johnny Guest and the Automatics, which was a band I had for a while. And then a few songs under His Own Devices, which was a Christian band that kind of grew out of a worship team I was leading for a bit. Great folks, and we were on a musical journey together and just wanted to capture that in the studio. And so we'll have a bunch more coming too. But all the streaming platforms, and pretty much everywhere social media wise, Johnny Guest Music gets to the music stuff. You can find my personal stuff here and there, but that's kind of random, whatever I might post there. But the music page is probably the main go-to for happenings.
Okay. Well, everybody go to where he said they're all social media sites, all streaming media sites, and check out Johnny Guest Music. I know he would love you for that. And
I do have it. It's JohnnyGuestMusic.com.
Okay. Well,
and personal stuff.
All right. Let's talk about the song, You Know the Tune. That's this video we're going to play here. Tell us a little story about that song. I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, You Know the Tune captures the daily rhythms that a couple finds themselves in, and the healthy symbiotic nature of two people who can finish each other's sentences, and those little things that you kind of take for granted, or it might seem mundane, but really that's that trust and comfort that comes along with that is gold. There's no replacement for that, I find. When you live without it and then you get it, it's pretty amazing. So that's what You Know the Tune was inspired by. My relationship with my wife, we're best friends, man. We got all these fun adventures together, and we complement each other so perfectly. So so it's really inspired by that. Yeah, and music is a huge part of our lives, and so it worked its way into those lyrics too. And my co-writers on that song were Sean Squires down in Savannah, Georgia, and Dewey Longuski down in Lansing, Michigan. And they're NSAI coordinators. They know what they're doing. It's really fun writing with those cats. So, we worked up the demo, and then just felt it deserved a proper recording. So we went down to Nashville and worked with Luke Combs' first producer, Ken Royster, on that one. Had some awesome musicians come in and put their talents to it, and just love how it came out. So now my band is gonna be, we get to play that one live for folks now, so pretty excited.
Yeah, and I can imagine. I mean, I really love this song, and I can understand why you do that in concerts a lot. We're going to play that in just a second. You'll get a chance to see that. But before we do, just want to thank you so much for being on the show today. Come back anytime you want to, Johnny, and maybe we'll have you back on. You can plug something new for us.
Oh, yeah. We got another single in the works already, man.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll be looking forward to that. So here it is. You Know the Tune by Johnny Guest. It begins right now.
When I wake up, you're already running. Sounds from the kitchen and your sweet voice humming.
Got a song in my heart like lovers do.
I know the words and you know the tune. Long day at work and I can't wait for a little home cooking and your angel face.
Got some music playing like we always do.
I know the words and you know the tune. I know the words and you know the tune. I and you know the truth.